Here we are in late 2025, and Lies of P isn't just surviving, it's thriving. When this Dark Pinocchio reimagining first dropped back in September 2023, people called it a Bloodborne clone. Fast forward to now, and it's proven itself as one of the best non-From Software Souls-likes ever made. With the massive Overture DLC that released in June 2025, the game has become even more essential. So let's talk about why Lies of P deserves your attention in 2025. And yeah, we'll cover the good and the bad. Right off the bat, Lies of P does something most Souls-likes fail at. It tells a genuinely compelling story that you can actually follow. You're playing as P, a unique puppet created by Geppetto in the once beautiful city of Krat. But Krat isn't beautiful anymore. A deadly petrification disease swept through, turning people into grotesque carcasses, and then the puppet frenzy happened. Every puppet in the city went haywire and started slaughtering humans, despite being programmed never for harming them. What makes this interesting is that P is different. He's free from the Covenant, the law that binds all other puppets. He can lie. And that's not just a story gimmick. Your lies actually matter. Throughout the game, you're faced with choices where you can tell the truth or fabricate a lie, and these decisions affect your humanity stat, determine which ending you get, and even unblock certain rewards. The story takes a twisted turn when you discover that Geppetto, your supposed father, is actually behind the puppet frenzy. He's been manipulating everything to bring back his dead son Carlo. And guess what? You might actually be Carlo, or at least a revived puppet version of him. The king of puppets you fight? That's Romeo, Carlo's best friend. The emotional weight hits different when you realize you're essentially putting down your old buddy who was trying to warn you all along. And now with the Overture DLC, which acts as a prequel, you travel back in time to witness the events leading up to the puppet frenzy. You team up with Leah, the legendary stalker and Carlo's mentor, to rescue Romeo from the serial killer puppet Argino. The DLC adds 15 to 20 hours of content and genuinely enriches the base game story in ways that make you appreciate everything. Let's talk about what really matters, the combat. Lies of P combines the aggressive, parry-focused style of Sekiro with the dodging and speed of Bloodborne, and it works beautifully. The perfect guard system is the heart of combat. Time your blocks right, and you'll deflect attacks without taking damage, build up an enemy's stagger meter, and eventually land a devastating fatal attack. But here's the thing, the game wants you to get hit sometimes. Unlike other Souls-likes where you're trying to play perfectly, Lies of P encourages you to tank some hits, parry aggressively, and bite back. When you block normally, you lose temporary health, but you can recover it by immediately counterattacking. This creates this intense back and forth rhythm where you're constantly in the enemy's face. The weapon system is genuinely one of the coolest features. Almost every weapon can be broken down into a blade and a handle, and you can mix and match them however you want. Want a giant electric chainsaw blade on a dagger handle for faster attacks? Go for it. Prefer a heavy greatsword with a quick handle? Done. Each combination changes your moveset, damage output, and the Fable arts you can use. Fable arts are basically weapon skills that consume Fable slots, your equivalent of an MP bar, and they can completely turn the tide of battle. Your Legion arm adds another layer of strategy. These prosthetic attachments let you fire projectiles, spray acid, use a grappling hook, or even add a shield for easy blocking. The Overture DLC adds 2 new Legion arms, one that fires spinning saws and another that shoots shotgun shells. The Overture expansion isn't just more content. It's basically a sequel disguised as DLC. It adds 8 new bosses, completely new areas like the Kate Zoo, a frozen shipyard, and the Rose Estate, and introduces a legitimate ranged playstyle with the Royal Horn Bow. This bow is a revolutionary addition. It uses your stamina instead of ammo, so you have infinite shots as long as you manage your stamina bar. The bow completely changes how you can approach encounters. Suddenly, you can be a sharpshooter in a game that was previously pure melee.
The DLC's level design is a massive step up from the base game. While the main game could feel a bit linear at times, Overture opens things up with more vertical exploration, interconnected shortcuts, and environmental puzzles. The Krat Zoo in particular shows the developers really understand how to craft engaging Souls-like levels. And the bosses? They're phenomenal. Each one feels unique and fair, even when they're absolutely kicking your teeth in. The final boss of the DLC, which I won't spoil, is easily one of the hardest and most satisfying fights in any Souls-like. People have spent 4 hours on some of these battles, but they're challenging in a way that feels earned, not cheap.
Let's break down what makes this game special. First, the world building and atmosphere are exceptional. The Belle Epoque-inspired city of Krat is hauntingly beautiful, mixing Victorian elegance with steampunk horror. You've got grand opera houses filled with nightmarish puppet clowns, cathedral streets littered with bodies, and every location tells a story. The art direction is genuinely stunning. Lies of P was nominated for Best Art Direction at the Game Awards, and it deserved it. The game creates this melancholic, oppressive atmosphere that few games nail. The lighting, especially the blue glow from stargazers, is gorgeous. And it's not just pretty, it runs incredibly well on PC. This is one of the most optimized Souls-likes out there, with smooth performance, even on mid-range systems. The music is another standout. The orchestral score perfectly captures the tragic, elegant tone of the story. The boss themes are memorable, and there are even records you can collect throughout the game to listen to in the Hotel Krat hub. The Overture DLC added 51 new tracks to an already impressive soundtrack. Combat variety is excellent thanks to the weapon assembly system. With over 40 weapons in the base game and 10 new ones in the DLC, each with customizable parts, you can create hundreds of unique combinations. Whether you want to be a nimble dexterity build, a strength-focused tank, or a status effect specialist with fire, acid, or electric damage, there's really style for you. The game also have great quality of life features. You can fast travel between stargazers, you get it magic pocket watch that teleport you back to the last checkpoint without losing souls, or ergo in this case, and there's even a merchant system that sells useful items. The DLC added new difficulty settings, including an easier Butterflies Guidance mode and a harder Awakened Popping mode, plus a boss rush mode called Death March, where you can replay any boss.
But it's not all perfect. Let's be real about the problems. The lie system feels underutilized. While the concept is cool, choosing to lie or tell the truth, most of the best items and the good ending are locked behind lying. There's not much consequence for constant deception, so it doesn't create the moral dilemma it should. The game practically encourages you to lie for rewards rather than making you genuinely weigh your choices. The endings are imbalanced. The bad ending, where you give Geppetto what he wants, feels like a middle finger to the player for playing wrong. It's so egregiously terrible that it comes across as punishment rather than a legitimate story branch. You need to replay the game multiple times to see all 3 endings anyway, since the game auto saves, so you're committing to at least 3 full playthroughs if you want the platinum. Boss balance is inconsistent. Some bosses feel perfectly tuned, while others are either complete pushovers or have ridiculous difficulty spikes. The green monster of the swamp is particularly notorious. It spits decay that destroys your weapon durability, goes underground, has weird attack patterns, and just feels annoying rather than challenging. Meanwhile, Champion Victor can be beaten first try because he's just too slow. Dodging feels awkward compared to parrying. The game heavily incentivizes perfect guards over dodging, which is fine, but if you're not comfortable with parrying, you're going to struggle. The dodge frames feel imprecise, and the timing can be frustrating if you're coming from games like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, where dodging is king. Enemy placement can be cheap. There's this recurring problem where you'll see an enemy far away, go to attack them, and suddenly pre-born enemies you can see will rush you from off-screen. It's a common Souls-like trick, but Liza P overdoes it to the point where it gets predictable and annoying. Linear level design is another complaint. While the Overture DLC improves this significantly, the base game's levels, especially up until Chapter 9, feel corridor-like with minimal branching paths or exploration. You're mostly following a straight line from boss to boss, which doesn't give you that classic Souls-like sense of discovering shortcuts and interconnect areas. The late game difficulty spike is brutal. Bosses like Laxacia the Complete and Simon Manu's Arm of God become incensed with a massive health pools and punishing combos. The Nameless Puppet, the true final boss, can take 40 plus attempts. While challenging fights are expected in the genre, some of these feel like they cross the line into tedious.
Here's the bottom line. Lies of P in 2025, especially with the Overture DLC, is one of the best Souls-like experiences you can have outside of From Software games. It's not perfect. The lie system needs more consequences. Some bosses are poorly balanced, and the base game's level design can feel linear. But what it does well, it does spectacularly. The combat is tight, aggressive, and rewarding. The weapon customization system gives you incredible freedom to experiment. The story is genuinely engaging with characters you'll actually care about. The art direction and music are top tier, and the Overture DLC adds so much content that it feels like a full sequel. If you're a Souls-like veteran craving a challenge, this will test you. The DLC's hardest difficulty, Legendary Stalker, is absolutely brutal, but fair. If you're newer to the genre, the recent addition of easier difficulty modes means you can still experience the story without banging your head against the wall. Lies of P earned its reputation. It started as that Bloodborne clone, but it carved out its own identity as a dark, beautiful, mechanically solid action RPG. With the DLC, it's evolved into something special, a game that respects its inspirations while confidently standing on its own. Whether you're jumping in for the first time or returning after beating the base game, 2025 is a perfect time to experience the twisted tale of the Lion Puppet. You'll die a lot, you'll get frustrated, but you'll also feel that incredible rush when you finally perfect parry a boss's entire combo and land a fatal blow. And that's what Soulslike's all about. So yeah, Lies of P in 2025? Absolutely worth it. Just be ready for the pain and the beauty.